Here we are again at the Full Disclosure Now conference, and with me I got a good friend, a brother, Matthew Mournian. Before I let him speak, I just want to share that I got a lot of love and respect for this man. Many years ago, when I came to my very first conference, I came all stressed out, high strung with a story, and was wanting anybody to tell me anything to make sense of the fucked up shit that has been my life. And Matthew was one of the people where I just knew and felt I got to connect with this guy. And so I did, and we stayed in touch. And throughout my journey over the years, I've had some sessions with him. And what the work that he's helped me go through, though it was very subtle at the time, it was really significant as things continue to unravel in my journey. And I eventually reached this point where I could look back and see how I got to where I am now, and realize that, wow, if I had never met Matthew and he never helped me in the way that he did in the past, I don't know if I would have came to this same point here now. So he's definitely helped removed implants. That's one of his specialties, implants removals. He's activated me in a few ways along my journey. And so here we have Matthew.
Wow, thank you. Honestly, it's been an honor to be a part of that over the years. I absolutely remember that first day. I remember that event. I think everybody was losing it in their own weird way. Everybody was in this weird, like this frantic zone. And
Am I a super soldier?
Right. No, honestly, it's and I know you and I have talked about this at other stages of the journey, but I think that was kind of a seeding point for a lot of timeline activity, and I think just movements or growth that took place in a number of us that were there as lives in the years to come. And I guess it's interesting because I'll bet at that stage of the journey you had no idea, or maybe you did know. Did you know? Like, I think I'm going to start this podcast and become a professional hypnotist or hypnotherapist rather, and
No, I had no
astrologer,
idea.
and it's like, I feel you.
I had no idea. I was trapped in a cage, mentally.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah.
Seriously though, seriously. But yeah.
Yeah. So tell everybody what are some of the specialties you have.
It's funny that you would ask. What I've noticed over the year of 2024 is that it seems to be changing. And I think that's a thing that you're going to notice for anyone that begins doing what we would call dedicated intuitive or spiritual work, or we could even say like energetic practitioners. I think what you'll notice over the process or your so-called career of doing so is that you'll move through a lot of stages. And I would say maybe like aspects of self or like personality gateways. And I think for me, between 2017 and I would say probably 2022, it was really all about things like entity attachment or implantation, or trying to understand what I would call the myriad of negative energetic manifestations that exist in our world. And so I would say for the first 5 years, it was very much about that. What I've noticed since 2023 and 2024 is that we are now in a stage in which a lot of people are learning how to confront and deal with and heal the body and the spirit on entirely new levels. And I think my mission kind of changed when it became more about training and teaching other people to do the stuff that I do. And it's not even the stuff that I do, it's the stuff that every single living person is able to do. And I think along with that came a number of other assignments. A book just came out. We've been doing dedicated training programs. And so I think we're at the stage where it's really about like getting the rest of our community or soul group ready to step into some new stage of assignment. Kind of like when you went to that event, it was 2019?
2019, yeah.
2019, and you had no idea of what type of a timeline shift was going to occur in your life. One of the things we see with people that continually attend or take part in these types of events is that your life will suddenly go in crazy, crazy directions. Now, I don't always mean negative, and I don't always mean positive, but we're at the stage right now in which everyone has an ability. Everyone has a very particular assignment that we're here to awaken. It's not a guarantee that we'll do so, but I would like to think that's where people like me come in. And so that's been really the bulk of it. We do energy clearing literally every day, for better or worse, which is kind of a cheesy way of saying this is literally the only thing that I do at this stage on Earth. And so whether it be intuitive readings, energy clearing, or I honestly really just figuring out where you are on your timeline. That's literally it. So
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah,
watch out. I'll go on and
yeah. No,
on.
it's great. It's
Be
great.
careful.
Yeah, you're a full time gifted psychic, and you do energy clearings. You're able to tap into people's bodies. You have a sense of quantum perception of energy, and you have a way of comprehending it and putting it into form. And you have practices to remove or clear, and you've are evolving into this stage where you're realizing it's more important to start teaching people because we are all evolving in consciousness, and people are realizing that they are capable of doing these things themselves. And you recently wrote a book, published a book. And what's the name of your book?
It is called Remember Your Mission. What if you're not crazy? What if you're psychic?
I like that.
But honestly, that's because that's what it was for me. It was
Mm-hmm.
literally that. In 2015, I had a life changing experience. My energy body was blown open, and I had to live the rest of that, between 2015 to 2017, literally in a state of complete internal spiritual and energetic chaos. It was like my energy body had been ripped open on a level that I have seen a few other people in this world that have gone through it, but it was a very extreme case, like shockingly extreme. And I guess I did something right because I really thought I was crazy. I believed that I was insane. It
Mm-hmm.
was like in my body, I could feel it. And I was like, I've lost it. This is what it's like. I realize now, like something's greatly distorted within my mind. And I think the important thing to mention is that the reason why I think I am here to talk about that right now is because there are potentially millions or billions of other people awakening on the earth plane right now. And the infrastructure within our modern world is not set up to acknowledge people that have intuitive or energetic or spiritual gifts. In
Mm-hmm.
fact, what we do in modern societies, we medicate them, we
Mm-hmm.
treat them as mental illness,
Mm-hmm.
a myriad of things. And so I think really the mission is right now is helping people understand that you absolutely have an ability, and you're living in a time on earth in which everyone that hears the sound of my voice, whether it's now or in the future, you need to know that you have a psychic ability. It's
Mm-hmm.
part of why you were born right now. And I think when I look back, I'm like, why would we want to be remembered? I want to be remembered as a person who showed everyone that it was true and it was real and you could. And so I guess
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of what I've been doing.
I love that.
But
Love
anyway.
that. And I want to let everybody know that one of the biggest gifts that Matthew has given me, in helping me empower myself, is his teachings on scalar toning. And if there's one thing that you can use or take from Matthew in his wisdom, is understanding scalar toning, which is, I'm going to paraphrase and I might butcher it,
No,
but
it's okay.
scalar toning, it's because we are electromagnetic waves, frequencies, and there are frequencies all around us, and so we could get bombarded with things that aren't within harmony with our own biofield. And so when we are not in harmony with our own resonance, it can create anxiety, nervousness. It makes us vulnerable to suggestions and other types of things. And so there's a way to come back and reorient yourself, and that's through scalar toning. And I'd like for the both of us to do
Oh yeah.
a tone
Yeah, yeah,
together
yeah, oh
right
yeah.
now so we can show everybody what scalar toning looks like.
Oh, totally,
Ready?
totally. Can I just preface
Yeah, please.
what does it actually do? How might one be affected by, for those that will watch this now or in the future, what is essentially a weird sound that we're going to make together? Scalar energy, as I understand it, was first sort of observed or scientifically observed, we could say, by a guy named William Clerk Maxwell in the mid 1800s, in which they observed what some people call a multidirectional oscillating waveform of energy that has the ability to penetrate and travel throughout any structure on the earth plane, whether solid, physical, non-physical. It just seems to penetrate everything, and you can measure it on the other side of the globe and it'll have the same strength and the same speed and the same energy in it as it would be right here. And so what they
Wow.
understood very early on was that scalar energy had a lot of resonance within what we would call like the quantum holographic nature of our world. And what it basically is a way of vibrating matter, both physical and non-physical, within the body. And so what does that do? It creates dilation.
Mm.
Dilation of energy centers, dilation of energy around the organs, which is a hidden factor for a lot of us
And
trying
by
to heal.
dilations, does that mean like openings?
Yes,
Okay.
literally. It
Literally.
causes absolute opening. What's crazy is that it's really about the intention that you add to it. And so one can create a tone, which is a frequency, which we're going to do here, which is a sound. And that's a thing that you can actually assign. This is going to sound crazy. You can assign a color, you can assign a flavor if you choose, you can assign an emotion. You could even assign an experiential form of energy that is sent through a singular wavelength of sound through your voice. And at the same time, you could also create degradation in the body. It could technically be used for good or bad. And we see a lot of negative versions of it with the ways in which the human body is being assaulted by frequencies from technology right now. And, the so-called 5G.
Right.
They're all basically assaulting the body. Now, scalar toning allows us to smooth that out. And so, anyway, watch out, because I'll go on and on.
Yeah. And that's something that's helped me
dilation.
so many times when I would feel a bombardment of psychic attacks, and closing my eyes, I would just see like distorted geometric frequencies that were demonic. And before I remembered, your teachings, I was like, oh my God, what's this? This is intense. And naturally, I fell into this point of trying to self-soothe, and it turned into humming. And then the more I was going into the humming, it was changing the distortion and organizing it back into harmony.
Literally.
And then eventually led into Om, and it changed the entire thing. And then I downloaded like, oh, this now makes sense why Om is such a powerful thing, because it reorganizes things into a divine harmonic frequency, and it completely cleared that whole distorted geometric attack that I was getting. So oming, that's also part of scalar toning,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we do use a bit of Sanskrit in the capsule phrase process, and that's kind of the evolution of what scalar toning moves into, or essentially are a series of phrases that people can use, and that's where the real dilation begins. But the cool thing about scalar toning is that it's a thing that everyone on Earth has engaged with, the process of creating a vocal vibration. The difference is very few people have ever taken the time to say, what is the significance of the vibration I'm making? Where am I aiming at? Why am I doing so? And what's my intention behind it? And so we find when people that do, it has shocking ability to change your mood, energy. You can literally vibrate organs in the body.
Yeah.
It gets crazy. But
yeah.
Anyway, watch out.
So let's do a tone. We're gonna do a tone.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say let's put the suggestion out for the tone for courage, for people to have courage to continue to come out and sharing their stories, to continue to come out to make connections with other people, for disclosure now. So we all have to step into our mission, to our greater roles right now. So let's do this. Courage. Ready?
Okay. Wait. Hold on. Sorry. What might because this will make it work way better. What might be the color of courage? There's no wrong color, but what is your body
gold
assign? Oh yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, let's do gold. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna do 3, 2, 1. We're gonna breathe in, and as you exhale, you just allow your body to vibrate. What's crazy is the sound you make might clash with the sound of others. It's not about the harmonization. It's about the truth of what your body creates. So sometimes you'll hear people are scalar toning, and it's gonna sound like a bunch of cats about to fight in the backyard. No, for real. People are going to be going, weird voices. What you find over time is they will inevitably all move toward one singular note. But anyway, let us begin. I'll count from 3 to 1.
Okay.
We'll breathe in and make a crazy sound. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Breathe in. Hold it at the top. And...
Courage.
by that time, it will be potentially on the other side of the planet. That allowed us to go. I would say if I wanted to measure it, it's like you'll cross a hemisphere. It's like you'll travel with the rotation of the planet. So you'll be moving with the spinning of the Earth as you do that.
Wow.
It'll carry it all the way around to the other side.
That's a mind trip. It's a
Thank
mind
you.
trip. We're going to have to talk more about this on a full episode, bringing Matthew on our podcast later on in the future. So in the descriptions of this video, you can find links to for Matthew's podcast and his website. Tell everybody where to find you.
We are at rememberyourmission.com, both myself and my wife. This is pretty much it. This is what we do. And so you can find us there. You can also find us on YouTube at Remember Your Mission. And then lastly, a very, very low cost and easy way to get involved in learning how to develop your own psychic abilities and receive a reading every month. You can find us over at Patreon at Blue Flame Collective. And we've been going for 4 years straight doing that group. And so, anyway, that's where to find us. Thank you.
Courage.